They forgot me at the mall before Christmas dinner. When I called, Mom whispered, "Oh no, we thought you were in the other car." I started walking. An hour later, my sister texted me instead of her friend. "Oh my gosh, it worked. We finally left him at mall like we planned." I replied, "Brilliant." Then froze the $2,800 grocery budget, blocked their access to the house, and took the tree. And then I made my second move. They forgot me at the mall. It was the night of Christmas Eve. The parking lot was almost empty, just wet asphalt, flickering lights, and a cold that felt personal. I stood near the exit, holding 2 paper bags filled with groceries they had asked for. My hands were going numb. One of the bags had started to tear. The cream was leaking through the bottom. The wine bottles clinked gently every time I shifted my weight. My phone buzzed. A voice message. Mom, whispering, like she didn't want to be overheard. "Oh no, we thought you were in the other car." That's all she said. No, where are you? No, stay there. No pause before ending the call. Just silence, like I'd never spoken at all. I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't even blink. I just stood there, inside the soft yellow glow of a street lamp, listening to the wind push a shopping cart into a snowbank. I had told them my car was in the shop. The brakes had failed. I texted them the receipt. Jenna said she'd swing by after picking up the boys. I nodded, said thank you. Stupid. I started walking, through slush and salt and exhaust, each step heavier than the last. My coat was too thin, my socks already soaked. I could feel the cranberry sauce digging into my ribs. It was a 58-minute walk, according to Google Maps. Halfway home, my phone buzzed again. Wrong message. Wrong thread. From Jenna. "Oh my gosh, it worked. We finally left him at mall like we planned." I stopped. Snow collected in my collar. I read it once, then again, then replied. Brilliant. No punctuation. No smiley face. Just that. I kept walking. Reached home around 6:40. My apartment. Not theirs. I dropped the bags on the counter, peeled off my gloves, and sat. The radiator hissed. The room smelled like burnt dust. I opened the banking app. Found the family shared grocery account. Froze it. $2,847.28. Gone. Then I opened the home system. Disabled the shared access codes. Deleted their names. Blocked all 4 phone numbers from the front door camera. They'd figure it out soon enough. Last thing, the tree. Theirs. Not mine. I bought it. Hauled it. Set it up on their porch 2 weeks ago because Dad's back still hurts, and the boys have school. I borrowed my neighbor's car, the one I use when mine's in service. Drove in silence. Pulled up. Didn't park. Just unplugged the tree. Lifted it, ornaments still on. Tied it to the roof. No one came out. No one noticed. They were inside, laughing, probably opening the wine I carried, probably still thinking I'd come by tomorrow. With dessert. With forgiveness. I didn't. But that wasn't the story. This was just the beginning. Because what I did next, that was the real move. I didn't go to their house that night. I didn't answer the calls. I made tea. Sat by the window. Watched the lights blink across someone else's porch. And for the first time in years, I let myself remember. Not just what they did now, but everything that came before. I got my first job the summer after I turned 15. Not because I wanted to, because someone had to. It was a diner. Not even a nice one. Vinyl booths, burnt coffee, a bell that rang every time someone pushed the kitchen door open with their hip. I worked 4 nights a week, 6 once school started. My manager said I was responsible. I always showed up. I never called out. I didn't tell him it was because we couldn't afford for me not to. That fall, I bought my own winter coat. Jenna got a North Face from Mom. I never said anything. I just wore mine until the zipper broke. By 16, I was helping with rent. Not all of it. Not at first. Just a little extra, as Dad called it. Then it was groceries. Then the phone bill. Then the gas. Jenna needed braces. I offered to split it. Mom said I was sweet. Jenna said nothing. Just smiled with her new teeth in the Christmas card photo. I paid for that photo, too. At 17, I stayed home from prom. Not because no one asked me, because I picked up an extra shift at the diner. They needed the hours. I needed the money. I used part of the check to fix the dryer. The rest went to cover the car insurance. Jenna had backed into a mailbox. Again. By 18, I was used to not being seen. Only useful. Only present when something needed fixing. College wasn't a dream. It was an escape route. I got in-state tuition and a commuter bus pass. Worked mornings at a warehouse, took classes all afternoon, waited tables at night. Came home to shower. Sometimes eat. Never sleep. Jenna got into a liberal arts school 2 hours away. She dropped out after a year. Said it was too much stress. Mom said she was listening to her body. Dad said he respected her boundaries. I stopped talking at dinner after that. No one noticed. At 21, I moved into a basement apartment. Mold on the ceiling. Broken radiator. I covered it with a tapestry. Told myself it was bohemian. Told myself it wasn't supposed to be better than this. That same winter, Mom got pneumonia. The hospital bills weren't bad, but the meds weren't covered. I paid for them. Quietly. Over the phone. Told the pharmacist to just put her name on it. She never asked how. Just said, "You're a blessing." I lived in that blessing. Paid for it. Every month. At 23, Jenna was dating someone who liked camping. She posted a picture of a new tent. Said, "Some people just show up and make everything easier." No tag. But I'd wired her $800 that week when she said her transmission was being weird again. I knew I should stop, but stopping would have made it real. At 25, I was covering rent and groceries in the water bill and my student loans and their heating oil and Jenna's new phone plan. She cracked her screen again. Said she needed it for work. I didn't even ask where she worked anymore. At 26, they started calling me stable. Like it was a compliment. "She's solid," Dad said once to a cousin. "You can always count on her." They didn't know I had to choose between groceries and a dental cleaning that month. I picked groceries. Then bought them for the house too. Because they didn't ask anymore. They just expected. Mom once said it made her proud, how I always stepped up. Like it was a personality trait. Like it wasn't desperation. At 27, Jenna moved back in. Said she needed space to heal. She brought the dog with her. The one she couldn't afford. He tore through the couch. I paid to replace it. No one asked me to. No one stopped me either. That spring, I got a small promotion. Added 20 hours a week, no extra benefits. I used the raise to fix the leak in their roof. I didn't live there anymore. But it was still home. At least that's what I kept telling myself. At 28, I came by with groceries. Same list as always. Almond milk. Butter. Eggs. Cheese. Jenna's favorite cookies. She wasn't home. Mom opened the door and said, "Oh, I forgot you were stopping by." I stood there for a moment, holding the bags, then said nothing. Because what was there to say? At 29, I took a weekend off. My first in over 2 years. Went hiking alone. No reception. No updates. I came back to 12 missed calls. The fridge had broken. The eggs spoiled. The thermostat was glitching again. Jenna had a job interview and couldn't handle all that stress. I wired the money from a rest stop bathroom on the way home. No one said thank you. They just said, "I knew you'd come through." That was the phrase that kept echoing in my head. I knew you'd come through. Not, "We appreciate you." Not, "You've done too much." Just, "Of course you did." At 30, I was managing their finances more than my own. Their groceries. Their utilities. Their dog's flea medication. I had a calendar for them. I didn't even have one for myself. I forgot my own dentist appointment that year. Jenna posted a photo of her and the dog at a lake. Captioned, "Grateful for peace. For space. For people who just get it." She didn't tag anyone. I still paid the water bill that month. That winter, I covered the boiler repair. $2,100. I'd been saving for a trip. Nothing dramatic. Just a cabin, some quiet. I canceled it. Told myself next year. They never asked where the money came from. They never asked anything. That was the part that hurt the most. Not the money. Not even the silence. The assumption that I would never stop. That I didn't need. Didn't want. Didn't count. They never erased me on paper. But they erased the part of me that felt like a person. And that's what stayed with me. Even after the snow melted. Even after the bills were paid. Even after I told myself again and again, next year will be different. It wasn't. Not until the mall. Not until the bags. Not until the voice message. And the plan I didn't know they had. Until I did. It started small. I stopped answering the group chat. The one where they sent grocery lists disguised as conversations. "Hey, does anyone have time to grab paper towels? Mom's favorite crackers are on sale. Need wine again." I read them. Let them sit. Never typed a word. At first, they followed up with question marks. Then with jokes. Then with silence. They were confused, not worried. They thought I was busy, or tired, or in one of my moods. Because when someone's usefulness is their only language, silence just feels like bad service. I waited 3 days. Then I opened my banking app. Canceled the auto transfer for their electric bill. Froze the heating account. Unlinked my card from the grocery delivery. They noticed by Thursday. Jenna texted, "We're out of eggs. Did you switch accounts or something?" I didn't reply. Friday, Mom sent a message. "Thermostat isn't working. Can you check if the balance went through?" I didn't even open it. Saturday morning, I got the first call. "Dad." I let it ring. Then came the voicemail. "If there's an issue, just say something. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." That line stuck with me, as if I was creating difficulty by withdrawing from it. As if my absence was the real burden, not the decades that came before it. By Sunday, Jenna showed up at my apartment. She knocked like it was a favor, not a confrontation. When I opened the door, she didn't smile, just lifted her phone. "You froze the card?" she asked. I didn't answer. She stepped forward like she might walk in. I didn't move. She didn't cross the line. Instead, she tilted her head and tried a different tone. "Mom's upset. The kids noticed the tree is missing. What's the point you're trying to make?" I didn't blink. Didn't soften. "Ask the other car," I said. Her mouth opened, then closed. She left without a word. That night, I opened the shared photo album we used for holidays. The one where I uploaded all the pictures, did all the captions, curated their memories. I deleted every photo I'd taken. 47 files. Gone in 7 seconds. No warning. No apology. I watched the icon spin, then stopped checking for a response. The next morning, Mom called. This time, I picked up. Her voice was calm, careful, practiced. "We didn't mean to hurt you. It was miscommunication. Things got busy." I let the silence stretch until she filled it. "You're blowing this out of proportion." I almost laughed, but instead I asked one question. "What was the plan exactly?" She didn't answer, just exhaled, that tight, practiced mother sigh, and said, "We thought you'd understand." I hung up. No reply. No final word. Just quiet. The kind that doesn't ache. The kind that holds shape. And then I opened my laptop and made it permanent. The silence came first. Not like an apology. Like a gap. I woke up without an alarm. Without a message. Without a reminder to just grab a few things if I was already out. No requests. No emergencies. No casual guilt wrapped in emojis. It was strange. Then it wasn't. I made coffee. Let it burn. Poured it anyway. Drank it in silence. No podcast. No music. Just the hum of the fridge and the radiator knocking once every few minutes. I sat by the window and didn't check the weather. Didn't check the grocery app. Didn't open the shared calendar to see who needed what. That used to be my morning routine. Now it was quiet. I let it be. That first week I didn't do much. Just existed. Slept through the night. Ate at the table. Not at my desk. Did laundry and folded it in the same day. Watched the water swirl through the machine like it had nothing to prove. It felt like softness. But softness with weight. Like air that moved but didn't warm. On day 4, I opened the grocery list doc. It was still there. Last edited by Jenna. I stared at the note at the top. Milk, eggs, almond butter. Thanks as always. I hovered over the file. Then deleted it. Not in anger. In relief. They didn't call. Not yet. But the post started. Mom, of course. A photo of the porch. The empty hook where the wreath used to hang. Sometimes you give everything and it still isn't enough. 39 likes. 3 hearts. 1 comment, thinking of you. Some people don't understand sacrifice. No names. But I knew. The next day, Jenna posted her own message. A picture of her boys next to the outlet where the tree lights had plugged in. Trying to explain disappointment to kids is hard, especially when you don't understand it yourself. I closed the app. Didn't open it again. Not that day. Not the next. Then came the knock. Aunt Lori. Uninvited. Unannounced. Standing in her church coat with a tin of cookies, and that look people get when they're pretending they didn't hear the whole story. "I'm not choosing sides," she said, stepping inside. Which always means they already did. She didn't take off her coat. Just sat on the edge of my couch and looked around like she was evaluating the damage. "Your mom's been sick over this. Jenna says you haven't responded. The boys are confused." I nodded. Offered her tea. She took it. Didn't drink it. "This isn't like you," she said, almost kindly. As if I'd been body snatched. As if setting boundaries was possession. 15 minutes later, she left the cookies on the counter and told me to think about what really matters. I didn't throw them out, but I didn't eat them either. That night, I went through the shared photo folder we used for every holiday. Deleted everything I had uploaded. Hundreds of pictures. Labeled and organized and cropped. Gone. Not to punish. To reclaim. The next day, Mom messaged. "The lights won't connect. Is the system down?" I didn't reply. Then another. We can't open the front gate. Did something reset? Still nothing. Then Dad. I hope this isn't about the mall. It was a misunderstanding. That word. I read it 3 times. Didn't answer. 3 hours later, another ping from Jenna. Just a screenshot. The electric bill. Due in 5 days. I'm assuming you'll handle this. I archived it. Didn't delete. Didn't answer. The following morning, a manila envelope slid under my door. Inside, the gas bill. And a note. We know you've always helped. Just this once more. I flipped the paper over. Wrote back. What's one more when it's already been a lifetime? I left it in their mailbox. Didn't knock. Didn't wait. That afternoon I got a photo from Jenna. Her boys. Sitting under a window. One holding the string of unplugged tree lights. They said it doesn't feel like Christmas anymore. I stared at it. Deleted it. Turned off my phone. By the end of the week, the silence changed. Less stillness. More pacing. They weren't confused anymore. They were nervous. Because this time, I hadn't come back. No, sorry. No, I just needed space. Just the sound of my absence staying gone. Mom tried one more time. Voicemail. We made mistakes. But family forgives. That's what this time is about. I let the message sit unread. The next day, a child's drawing appeared under my door. Crayon. Stick figures. One was labeled Uncle. At the bottom. Come back, please. We miss you. I sat on the floor. Read it 3 times. Then folded it carefully. Put it in the drawer where I keep the things I don't know how to throw away. Stood up. Made tea. Watched it steep. Didn't reach for my phone. Didn't check the app. Didn't ask if they were still waiting. They probably were. But I wasn't. Not anymore. I didn't go back. Not on New Year's. Not when they posted the family photo, smiling in front of a half-decorated tree. Not when Aunt Lori texted. She's not well. Maybe just a message. I let the message sit unread. Then archived it. Some stories didn't need replies. I spent New Year's alone. By choice. Cooked pasta. Opened wine I didn't have to share. Sat on the floor with a blanket wrapped around my shoulders and watched the countdown on mute. At midnight, the neighborhood erupted in fireworks. I didn't go outside. I just sat there, legs folded, hands still, breathing through the sound. It didn't shake me. Not this time. 2 days later, I walked to the bookstore near the corner. Bought a planner. The simple kind. No affirmations. No gold lettering. Just blank boxes. Space. On the first page, I wrote one thing. You don't know answers to those who ignored the questions. That became a rule. The next morning, I cleared out the kitchen drawer. The one where I used to keep their bills. Old prescriptions. Grocery vouchers. Crumpled sticky notes with reminders like, don't forget her crackers, and wine for Dad, not the cheap kind. I shredded everything. Even the notes in my own handwriting. Even the one Jenna left once, years ago, after I paid her rent. Thanks. You're the best. Again, I stared at that one the longest. Then dropped it in with the rest. Watched the paper curl and disappear. No one called that day. Or the next. Then the package arrived. No name. Just brown paper, creased at the corners. Inside, the tree topper I bought 2 Christmases ago. Wrapped in the kind of tissue paper you reuse. Not folded with care. Just stuff like guilt. No note. Just silence. I held it for a moment. Turned it over. Set it down. Not out of sentiment. Out of decision. I placed it in a drawer. The one with old receipts, warranties, pieces of things I no longer needed but wasn't quite ready to throw away. Not because I wanted to keep it. Because I didn't want to carry it anymore. That was the difference now. I didn't fight to be seen. Didn't chase their silence. Didn't try to correct the narrative they whispered into other people's ears. I let them say what they needed to feel decent. Let them paint me as cold, difficult, distant. It cost them less than the truth. And I no longer paid other people's costs. That week, I bought a small tree for myself. Out of season. Plastic. No lights. Just something green in the corner. Something that didn't ask for anything. I made soup again. Same recipe. More salt. Ate it with bread I didn't burn this time. I slept early. Woke up to light. Checked the mirror and didn't see someone trying to hold it together. Just someone standing. Still. I didn't pray for reconciliation. Didn't pray at all. But I whispered thank you. Not to them. To the moment. To the silence. To the self I kept losing every year in paper bags and forgotten rides and grocery receipts. She's not lost anymore. She's home.